And once again, we are live, and we are actually at episode 4. It is going to be a interesting one because, well, it was another impromptu, and I actually have another guest who has never been on the show before, yet he knows who I am. John, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
My name is John. I'm an alcoholic. I'm here tonight to announce that I drink at least once a year, and I know it's a problem. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And that's okay. We are we take kindly to alcoholics around here because they actually keep me employed.
Oh, good.
So tonight we're going to be talking about the San Diego Comic-Con and what some of the stuff came out from the Comic-Con. We actually have a couple of beers to review. And in fact, I'm going to get you started, and you get to show us your beer that you're having right now.
Okay, well, let's start off by saying that this is a new beer, introduced probably maybe 100 years ago. So it's relatively new. This is a Molson Canadian. It's about 5.5% alcohol, or 5. You want to be a dick about it. It is 355 mils. It goes down easy. And I can't complain. This is my go-to beer. I know everybody calls it Moose Piss, but you know it is not a bad beer. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, tonight I'm going to be drinking something that is kind of like Moose Piss, but not quite. But I'm going to start off big, and then go into the smaller stuff. Tonight, since I know this is impromptu, so you couldn't go out and get stuff, so I'm going to drink for the both of us on a good beer.
Oh.
I have got Heretic Torment. Yes, this
Nice.
is a dark Belgian style ale. It's bold, rich, and malty, and it tells you to release your inner heretic. This comes in at 10%, and it's out of it's out of Heretic Brewing Company. Now it says Pittsburgh, California. I never knew the states had so many redundant names in their different state areas and stuff. Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I'd read the side, but you know what? I'm going to put a link in our description at the end of the show to show you where this beer is. It was bottled March of 2015, so this is actually a fresh beer. And it's got a nice little wax top on it. And it sounds beautiful when you pop it.
This is embarrassing. Here I am drinking a Molson Canadian. It's in a can. I mean, and it's going to end up in another can by the time I'm done with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you bring out this, and just so you guys know watching, just before the show we were talking a little bit on Facebook Messenger, and he had mentioned that he was going to be drinking this beer tonight. And I thought, wow, what a perfect beer for the theme of this show. Because there is a lot, well, we're not going to get into it yet, but there's a lot that can kind of coincide with what he's drinking tonight, and we'll get to that a little bit later, I'm sure. But I'm a little bit jealous because now I want that beer. But you know what, I'm still enjoying my Canadian. And it's an 8-pack version. I don't know if you can see that there. It's an 8-pack.
There you go.
Yeah, it's got value. And it's a lager.
Well, I'm going to say that I'll do a genuine draft afterwards, so don't worry. I will be joining you on the lower scale. These come in 15 packs for $20. I mean, you can't go wrong with these. So,
yeah.
But I had to pull up this one because, yeah, we do have a theme. And it does smell malty-ish. I'll give it a taste to let you know what it is, and then we'll carry on from there because I know you're jealous. You seem a little embarrassed, and I'm sorry.
I'm a little jealous.
Oh, and you should be jealous. I mean, wow. This has got some caramel notes to it. It's sweet and a Belgian style. Like, this is a gorgeous beer. This is gonna be going down quite nicely tonight while we talk about things. That one I probably would give a 4.5 out of 5, but that's just me. And I'm sure your Molson Canadian is a good 4 out of 5 because it is a Canadian beer. Yes,
Oh, no. I didn't say it was a good beer. I just said it was the go-to beer.
Oh, the go-to beer. Sorry, my mistake.
This gets a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Right? It gets a little closer to 5 the more you drink of them, like any beer. But yeah, I mean, if there was one beer I could have right now with me, they don't even make it anymore. I mentioned this before. Big Rock, Cold, Kold. 15 years ago, I think they discontinued it. Maybe not quite 15 years ago. It's an amazing beer.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. The Cold, huh? No, I remember seeing that a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but you still have the Co-op Gold, which would kind of be like the Cold, wouldn't it?
Yeah, actually, Co-op Gold beer is not bad at all. It's been a while since I've had one of those, but maybe I'll have to get back into that.
Well, it is made by Big Rock, so.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, what we've got on store is what happened last weekend. Thankfully, we don't have to talk about the Stampede. No offense, but yeah, we're done. It's over. It's done with. You had your party time. I had my miss time. What we did miss, and unfortunately I would love to go to this one of these years, is the San Diego Comic Con. Now, each year I get jealous. It's almost like watching pretty much E3 or anything that's geeky like that. But this has a lot of the new stuff, the upcoming movies, the upcoming TV shows, a lot of actors and actresses that show up down there. And it is just one hell of a big party, like a 5-day party. And it's one that I would love to see. However, unfortunately, due to the fact that I pretty much can't afford going down there and, well, I don't have a passport, I have to watch it from the comfort of my own home. Now, you and I were also talking that we saw one thing on there. Let's jump into the one that we both actually started drooling and pretty much, I guess we could say we creamed our pants over.
Yes, confirmed.
That would be the Ash versus Evil Dead trailer. Oh crap, that's gorgeous.
I'm excited. I actually have a couple things here. You keep talking. I'm just going to go grab a couple things.
All right. So yes, we've got the Ash versus Evil Dead trailer, and in all honesty, that is actually one of the biggest draws that I saw. I never knew that they were going to be doing this. I never knew what the trailer was. I always thought this was actually going to be a movie, but I found out that it's actually going to be a TV series. And the way the trailer portrayed itself, it looked like it was coming off of the Army of Darkness days. And yeah, there we go right there. Let's switch over here. Oh.
Okay, so what we have here is the, I don't know if this is an official poster or a cover of any kind, but this says it all, though. I mean, this is a classic. This movie is a classic. Let me just switch back here. And so what I have here is, without the glare, hopefully, there's my Blu-ray collection, the original Evil Dead, of course, then you have the second one, which is almost a remake of the first one, even though it came out, I think it was, 5 years later? And then, of course, the Army of Darkness, I think the biggest of all the cult classics. This is probably it right here. But great collection. And as soon as I heard about this TV series, yeah, there was premature ejaculation running down my leg, which doesn't differ from any other day. But this is exciting news. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too, and actually, being a big Bruce Campbell fan, getting to meet him a couple of years ago, shaking his hand, and actually not passing out in front of him, I was quite impressed with myself. I figured that it was actually something, like, just seeing him was amazing. And actually, I pointed something out to my oldest daughter, because she got to meet him as well when we got our picture taken with him. And there was one thing that we were watching. We were watching the Oz Great, the Great and Powerful Oz, that cheesy remake that they did. And I completely forgot that the doorman was actually Bruce Campbell. So when I talked to my daughter, I'm like, "Do you recognize who that is?" She's like, "No, I don't." I'm like, "That's Bruce Campbell." She's, "Oh, right, I like him." he called you guys jerks, and he called me a beautiful woman, and she said he sent you guys to the back, and he had me up front. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I mean, Bruce Campbell is amazing. He's actually one of the biggest draws I like out of actors.
Yeah. Okay, so like a long story short, I guess. When I was a kid, actually to this day, I'm really into horror movies. And I'm not one of those people who get all fucked up from them. You always hear stories about like these kids that just become like, I guess you can basically say like the whole emo scene of the early 2000s was a perfect example of too much horror, or maybe the wrong kind of horror. But I grew up with this stuff. So I grew up watching Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. A lot of the really common, I guess some of them were kind of considered cult. But Evil Dead was one of my favorite, and it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. So when I turned about 20, so going back, a few years, 10, 15 years ago, I watched it again. I was like, man, this movie is still scary. Something about it, it's got a lot of comedy to it. But there's also an aspect of it that almost really cheesy B horror that does still scare you a little, just because they use, like, there was no computer animation back there. So seeing that woman getting stabbed in the ankle with the pencil, that scene, that kind of thing, it still gets me. It's just creepy, and I think I think with horror movies now, they're so based off of jump scares that you become desensitized by it. It doesn't have that technique anymore. And I guess at one point they had to change it, but right now when you watch it, it just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. How do you feel about them?
I actually have to agree, because of the fact that yes, you have all these jump scares and everything. It's one of those ones where you look at it and it's like, oh really? Yeah, okay, you can see it coming. You hear the music start to pick up. And I was like, really? Just like I guess Paranormal Activity, that one right there, prime example. They know it's cheesy, but they also try to do the jump scares. However, you could tell the jump scares are coming because you hear a low rumbling sound every time something's going to happen. And the one, like you talk about how that movie scared the crap out of you, not Paranormal Activity, but the one that actually did. Poltergeist for me. That one I saw when I was 10 years old, and I will never, ever watch it again because it scared the piss out of me. Because that's what a horror movie was supposed to be. And to this day, I had problems with clowns. I had problems with like those punching clowns that you hit. And I have a very big fear of empty sort of swimming pools, outdoor swimming pools, because skeletons would come out and get me. By the way, if you haven't seen Poltergeist, spoiler alert.
Yeah, you know what? That's a perfect example, actually. That was one of the ones that scared me too. There was a movie that came out, and it wasn't as popular. It came out about 89, maybe 90. It was called House. It was just called House, and it actually had one of the main characters from the show Cheers in it. But anyway, there was a scene there where the little boy that apparently was abducted or went missing at one point. The dad starts seeing him in this house, and one of the scenes is he goes to the bathroom mirror. And he sees a little boy in the mirror. He sees him in the swimming pool, and the little boy kind of just reaches through the mirror, I think. And I remember when I was a kid, I saw this, and I went and slept outside of my parents' bedroom on the floor outside the door. I was so scared. I was laying there, but to me, it's the adrenaline. Even when you're a kid, there was something about being scared that it was fun. It was exciting. It was entertaining, and that's what a horror movie should be. Nowadays, it's more about just that they'll give you the best moments in a trailer, but once you watch the movie, it's kind of like, okay, that was really the best moment in the movie was what you saw in the trailer. Whereas now, or back then, it was those moments that you never saw in the trailer that would get you. It was the moments that you hold on to the rest of your life, and you remember what scared you, whether it be a clown, like you said. I don't know if you can see up there.
Danny was
the clown, right? I love horror movies. I don't know if you can even. The Jason Voorhees right behind me there. I'm trying to point to him. That's actually like a really big Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. But yeah, so things have changed, I guess. But Poltergeist was one of those ones that scared the hell out of me too.
Yep, it's like Freddy Krueger for me. The first movie was amazingly scary. Second one, still scary. Third one, I hate needles, and that one just blew me away. And then it got cheesy. But you knew that they were going for the cheese factor, but they wanted to scare the crap out of people too. It's that sort of old horror movie is great, and we know that with Evil Dead and Army of Darkness that it wasn't exactly a rated horror movie. It was more of the B films, and they knew it, and they made it into this scary but cheesy but funny but oh my god, I can't, what's going to happen next sort of movie.
Yeah.
Army of Darkness was where I got where I really started liking Bruce Campbell, and I was like, well, I've never seen the other ones. And they're like, well, you don't really need to see the other ones. It gives you an explanation. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I watched this. I'm like, oh, that is a cult classic right there off the bat, and I will watch this constantly.
Yeah, I agree completely. I didn't see Army of Darkness. Actually, this is an interesting story. I hadn't seen the Army of Darkness until I was in high school. I was probably in grade 9, and we were in art class. And we were one of the lucky schools where we actually had a really cool art teacher. It was like a drama teacher, I guess. Not art, yeah, drama. And he was all about showing those. So we saw Princess Bride, and Army of Darkness was actually one of the first ones he ever showed us. And I recognized Bruce Campbell right away, and I recognized the ending of the second one, which led into it. And I thought, man, this is the coolest thing. I had never seen this as a kid, so I still look at like the original movie, the original film, as being my favorite. But they all have some kind of sentimental value to me, and I think that this series, some movies they try to go into the comedy aspect. Once they get into, like you said, the fourth and fifth of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. But with this one, they could pull it off. You know, once they came out with Army of Darkness, it was like, you know what, this is just getting, better and better, and they could really make a TV series out of this. It just took them 30 years, or give or take a few, but yeah, definitely I agree with you.
Oh, it's true, and that's the thing, and like I love seeing these kind of movies, and I love the fact that they're coming back out. Like that right there is amazing. Like I will watch this. I'm going to watch this religiously. I actually have to go back and watch the stuff that has Bruce Campbell, and I can't remember the TV show now. Crap. But there's like 6 seasons of Burn Notice. That's what it is. And I watched it because of Bruce Campbell. Spider-Man, Bruce Campbell again. I don't care about the fucking movie. It's got Bruce Campbell in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
yeah, awesome.
I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with it. So, I mean, like if it happens and it works well, I think they could pull it off. But that whole trailer, if you haven't seen it, I will post a link below again, and you guys could check it out. Maybe I'll put it in the chat, but you guys are listening to us. You don't want to exactly see the trailer just yet. I'm going to make you guys wait.
Yeah.
It's one that I just sort of went, okay, this is awesome. And then I kept going. I'm like, this is even better. And I looked and went, Lucy Lawless is in this? Even better.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I'm like, okay, someone get me a towel. I need to clean myself off.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I saw this trailer. Wow, this is finally. It's nice to see something that's going to come out that's actually intriguing. I mean, when I heard about Under the Dome, I thought, okay, this might be good. 2 seasons in now, I'm thinking, what the fuck happened? Like, why does Stephen King keep getting away with this? Like, he writes a great story. Sometimes he does use, it's a wordy, I guess the best way to say it, right? Pennywise, like the novel It was great. Then they make a movie, and it's just like, well, what is your fucking problem then? Like, I know he has very little to say about the films, but I know he had a lot to say about this TV series. But I'm hoping that this Ash versus Evil Dead works out, because I have high expectations, but high as in like made for TV expectations. You know what I mean? Like they can push the envelope just enough.
Well, it's going to be on cable, so I mean, it's going to be out there where they can actually push the envelope a little bit more. There will be probably a lot of blood. There will be probably swearing. There will be maybe even sex. And that's exactly what it needs. Like, you don't need to have a filter for it, because if you put it on like prime time, like on NBC or ABC or anything else like that, you can't get the full effect. And this is why I like what they're doing. I like the channel that they're putting it on. I mean, hell, you could even put it on HBO and people would fucking eat it up. I would.
Yeah. I'm at the point now where it's like, I need a good hook. I need something to watch. I need something to kind of carry me over through the winter, because that's when they like to start these shows. Walking Dead, it's good. I still like The Walking Dead. I think it's I think they managed to kind of pull me in every season. It's not everybody loves it. What else? What's another show that I watched? Sleepy Hollow. It was kind of hit and miss with me. It's kind of dumb. So I'm looking forward to something that can actually intrigue me again, pull me back in. It'd be nice. What are you watching besides? What are you watching right now on cable?
Oh, well, you probably wouldn't have guessed it, but if I turned to you and I said that I'm actually watching, well, I just finished watching Penny Dreadful. Now, that is an amazing series. They just finished the second season, and one of the companions from Doctor Who is in it, and you get to see her naked. Bonus right there. Then you also, I actually sit down and I'm watching Rookie Blue, a Canadian-made out of Toronto cop drama, and I actually do enjoy watching it. It's a lot of fun to watch. And yet, once again, you wouldn't expect that from me. And then I'm trying to catch up on all my shows. Like, yeah, okay. Once Upon a Time, I've already finished off Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but what else is there? True Detective is on, and I'm kind of sort of letting that build about 4 or 5 episodes into it, and then I'm just going to steamroll through the first 4 or 5 episodes, because that does get a little slow. And then I might sit down and I think I'm going to try and go for Game of Thrones.
Okay, yeah. Game of Thrones is another one I haven't really... Of course, it's obviously very popular. I find that I have this history of starting a show 2-3 years later after the show's been not canceled, but maybe the finale's been up. It's like this weird, I don't know. And then by the time I start watching, I'm like, oh man, I want there to be another episode. I want there to be another season. So you said Once Upon a Time. Now I watched Once Upon a Time season 1 and maybe season 2.5, give or take. I really liked. I thought the first season was awesome. I thought it was really. It kind of brought some of those characters in that you haven't seen in a long time, or the ones you really knew about, and gave it a little bit of a spin. I don't know. There's not really a whole lot I'm watching right now, to be honest with you. I find that YouTube kind of gives me what I need. I don't know. There's not really a whole lot I can say. I used to watch a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was into that when it was on YTV. For any Americans watching this, that is the Canadian version of, I don't know, what do they have, Nickelodeon? Kind of like Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I guess Nickelodeon. Yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah. So I watched a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Gee, I wonder why. And then I watched a lot of Angel. Don't ask.
I'm not judging here. I'm not judging. You actually probably made a fan of my fiance because she watched that stuff too.
You were giving me the judging eyes. I saw those. I saw the judging eyes.
No, I'm good. Like I actually tried to sit down and watch those when they actually came on, and it was tough to watch. Of course, this is the guy that watches cartoons. Okay, I will sit down and watch hours of Scooby-Doo if I actually had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
So, however, getting back on track with the SDCC, I did send you a link for one of the two here. Now, should we talk about the one that they just brought out today because it was leaked, or the one that they're bringing out in 3 weeks, but it's leaked and it still has something?
Okay. So I'm assuming you're talking about the Deadpool, the trailer for Deadpool that was never supposed to be released yet.
That'll be the one.
Okay. Now, what I mentioned to you earlier when we were talking, I said that we're going to get into this a little bit more. Up until less than 2 months ago, I'd never heard of Deadpool. I have never once in my entire life owned a comic book. Don't let these glasses fool you. I'm an idiot. I have never once owned a comic book. I know of comic book characters because when I was a kid, my friends had comic books. Silver Surfer was the first character I've ever heard of when I was a kid. of course, in Wolverine, and then eventually you learn the characters and you know more about them even if you've never actually seen them. But after seeing this trailer for Deadpool and seeing a little bit about it a few months ago, I have to say this is kind of like he's got a lot of comic relief, a badass attitude to him. It's like a Tony Stark kind of thing. But man, it's almost like Hellboy meets Tony Stark, and I like that because he just seems like, and it's Ryan Reynolds. He's fucking funny. So I would see this movie. I would definitely see this movie.
I would too, and I'm really excited for it. Like I would love to hear whatever else other people have to say about this if they're watching. But like this one is one of the ones that I actually got excited for. And I mean, when it starts off the trailer, and for the people that have it leaked, we're sorry, but we had to. You guys can't keep this shit from us, okay? We need to see this now. But I mean, like was it Ryan Reynolds that introduced it?
You know what? I don't know. Where I caught it looked like it was filmed with a cell phone, you know, in the audience. So I couldn't see quite who was on stage at the time. I would assume so because he seems to be the type that would be proud to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, if it is him, once again, it was filmed with a cell phone, as you said. But he turned around and goes, you know what? Why don't we watch it again? Because fuck it, I got the camera. And I was like, okay, now I'm interested. And this starts off, and you're right. This is this cheesy guy that's got this humor, and they're like, well, you're not going to keep your humor after this one. He goes, oh, we'll see about this. And wow, it was just amazing watching this. Granted, they did pull some of the scenes from the fan-made Deadpool release that they did a while ago, the one that got cut out because people didn't want to have it online. But it was one of the better fan-made things out there. But they did cut some of the scenes for it, I noticed. And they did kind of split it up and use it for different stuff. But I liked it. Like, it's like, okay, they put that in there, awesome. Again, another thing that's been filmed in Vancouver, so that's got bonus points for me right there. Oh, that was loud. You got people racing out in Okotoks there?
Yep. I'm used to it, I guess.
I guess so. But yeah, it's one of those ones that I actually am really looking forward to. And it actually was up there with Ash versus Evil Dead. Like, I would want to see this one a lot. Like, this is one I would probably spend money to actually go out and watch it in 3D. I would actually do that because this is one of the ones where you're like, okay, I'm going to sit down, have my popcorn, and enjoy just a cheesy comic book flick that's got action and a lot of bad one-liners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not related really, but when you remember when Spawn came out, yeah, I know. I saw that in theaters, and I might have been the only person that actually thought that movie was badass. And this movie kind of makes me think of that. I know they're completely unrelated, and I know that a lot has changed since the mid-'90s when it comes to like superhero characters. But this reminds me of that whole dark side / a bit of humor. So I'm definitely going to go see this movie. I will pay to see this movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Give me a second here. But that's one of the ones. Now, going with something that I'm kind of curious about, it's DC, so they're trying to possibly look at copying what Marvel's doing. The one thing I do like about it is it's got Harley Quinn in it, and we're talking about the Suicide Squad. And actually, it has Will Smith in it, and I didn't realize he was in it as well. That one kind of looks interesting. I like where the premise is coming from with this, and I really, really, really hope that DC pulls this one off nicely, because the other one I kind of want to mention is as an honorable, wow, what the fuck were you thinking kind of mention. We'll do it afterwards. This one I want to see them do a really good job on, because it's something that you don't normally see out of a comic book series where you have bad guys going after evil guys. It's usually the good guys taking on the bad guys. Granted, I did think I saw Batman in there. So
I definitely saw a shadowy figure that I thought was Batman. I didn't want to say anything yet because I don't want to sound like a complete noob when it comes to the comic world. But I think you're right, and Harley Quinn. And like I said, these are the characters of course I know. I don't know a lot about, but I saw this trailer, and this to me looks awesome. Like this is beyond any comic book movie. I think this is going to change the way I see things because I think of comic book movies. I think of, well, I don't know, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, the X-Men, which I personally have issues with, the original 3 films, I should say, because I watched them recently again and they're just awful. The acting was horrible. But this movie I think it's going to give it a whole new life because I think it's going to show that dark side that when The Dark Knight came out, it kind of brought us back to like, oh man, this can be cool for even like it doesn't have to be just nerds and geeks. It can be for like jocks and like assholes. I think this can do the same thing as that movie did, even if it has Will Smith in it. It seems to be in a series of movies that just flop like a spent dick. But I think that this movie can actually bring that audience of all groups of all cliques together to watch. I think this is going to be the film. It could just be me, but I think this will be it.
I think so too, and I think we actually might be able to see something come about from us. I'm really hoping we do. It would be really good to see something from DC just to give Marvel a bit of a challenge. Even though they are so far ahead of the game in anything in the way of comic book movies right now, I kind of am hopeful for DC, being that I'm not biased about either one of them. I mean, yeah, DC can be a little bit of a dick when it comes to their comics, but at the same point in time, I like Marvel, but this one looks like it's going to be actually quite interesting. And that car that the Joker drives, oh my fucking god, I want that car.
Yeah. Again, this is a little off topic from what we're talking about, but what do you think of the Batman vs Superman?
See, now that's where I was going to lead to. That was the other DC movie I was talking about. So good segue.
Thank you.
That one, I want to give it help. I really do. However, I think they're going too far with this. You remember Spider-Man 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you remember how they introduced how many bad guys in that fucking movie?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So 3 of them.
Yeah.
So now
it was what was it? It was Sandman. It was I'm drawing a blank here, man. You're gonna hate me. Who was
Spawn?
Sandman? Who?
Or was it Spawn or
No. It was the evil Spider-Man, with the
Venom.
Venom. Yeah. Okay. So it was Sandman, Venom, and then the third one was Goblin.
I think you're Green Goblin.
It was the new Green Goblin, wasn't it? Oh, it was his son. He had officially, taken over the role of family business, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, it flopped because you had too many bad guys in there.
Yeah.
I think this is what is going to happen with this movie. You got too many good guys in there because you've got Superman,
Yep.
you've got Batman, and you thrown in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Now, I really don't know, and I think Joker's supposed to be in there by the looks of the trailer, because they mentioned his name.
Yeah.
So this kind of brings me to that horror thing. Do you remember the movie Freddy vs. Jason?
Yes, without a doubt, I have every one.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. I've got it too. All right.
I own the worst of the worst. I collect them just for the sake of saying, yes, I have that movie. I saw this. Okay, I actually went to the theaters and paid money. That's right, money to see Superman Returns, and I walked out halfway through. That was Stampede 2004. It was the year 04 or 05, whatever year it came out. I can't remember. I walked out. But I bought the movie anyway.
Man of Steel, guilty.
Ooh.
Yeah. But this is going to be one of those ones where it's going to be bad and cheesy. I'm not quite happy about this. Um, I don't like the fact where they're going with it, and you've got all these people that are on the side of Superman. You've got all these people that are on the side of Batman. Batman's been winning a lot. I mean, come on, you look at the cartoons, and you got those. You turn around and you look at someone and you go, "I'm Batman," and everyone knows exactly where you got that from.
Yeah, yeah.
You reiterate anything from Superman, and it'd be like, well, which Superman remake is that from? I'm like, well, that's from the first movie. Well, which one's that? Oh God, no! I'm showing my age.
19 was it 77?
Yep.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing is I don't know anything about comic books, but for some reason when it comes to these dates, like I can tell you right now, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy vs. Jason, I should say, 2003. That was the year it came out.
Really?
2003. Yep. Yep.
And the first Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 1984?
1984.
I was gonna say 81. So guess what? You won.
Yeah.
It's those ones. It's like, okay, fine. And now they're doing another remake or doing this versus thing, and it bombed with Freddy versus Jason. I love the movie, but people hated it. Nudity in the first 30 seconds, you've got me sold. It's going to be a horror flick.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where it's like, oh, I want Freddy to win, but I want Jason to win. But who's actually going to win? Because these both are very big villains. Honestly, I wanted these two to hug it out, kill a bunch of people, and then go after each other again in a sequel.
Yeah, that's in my opinion the direction they should have went. Okay, I'm a little bit concerned with this Batman versus Superman. Like I said, I'm not a comic book person. I'm a little bit concerned. Here you have, when I was a kid, when I was growing up, Superman was the shit. Superman kicked ass, okay? And Christopher Reeves, I think he was an amazing Superman. I guess Michael Keaton was an amazing Batman. We're talking a decade later that film came out, right? Over a decade later when they released the first Batman movie. But Michael Keaton playing Batman, I thought he did a great job. But I really, really loved Superman, like Christopher Reeves. And then Jason versus Freddy, right? Like Freddy was my favorite character. Like when I think of protagonist, Freddy Krueger is that protagonist. He's that main person. It's not even a matter of being good or evil. It's just like you root for him. And when he died, I was just like, this is bullshit. Like he died to a character that, like Jason again, I'm a huge fan of Jason. Don't get me wrong, but to die to a character that has zero personality, like it just ruined it for me. Freddy was like my anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
So for Batman and Superman, I'm like, I don't want to see Superman get his ass kicked, but at the same time, Batman's the underdog in theory, unless he brings kryptonite into the scene, which I think the trailer showed that's what we're gonna see.
Yep.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But I think that can I tell you what I think is gonna happen?
Well, we're not gonna. We may not spoil anything because the movie hasn't been out yet. We're giving theories, so yeah.
Oh no, this is a spoiler. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. So for the first half of this movie, these guys are gonna fight. They're gonna bicker back and forth. There might even be like media content where they're on the news or whatever. What's gonna happen is maybe the Joker. Who knows? Lex Luthor, we know is gonna be in this movie. They're gonna somehow get involved in it, and the Batman and the Superman will see the evil of their ways, and they'll say, you know what, we're doing this. We should be working together. And in the end, maybe the last 20 minutes, I don't know, half an hour, they'll decide we need to work together to stop these ass clowns or whatever from, trying to take over this Gotham. Even though I don't know how Gotham is incorporated with Superman, whatever, but I think they're going to end up working together because we can't actually have one of the characters killed off, right?
Of course not.
So, I don't know, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think you're probably correct, but you forgot one major factor that's going to bring those two together.
There's going to be a gangbang with Wonder Woman?
Well, there you go. That's the deciding factor right there. We don't need to say any more. Cheers!
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. This episode of Booze Reviews is brought to you in part by Jergens Lotion.
With a side of Vaseline. and KY. Um,
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm not looking forward to the movie. I'm sure that the trailers are making it seem like it's going to be a great big fight and everything.
Yeah.
But you're right. They're probably going to come together and going to beat the piss out of the bad guys because they got to have someone to beat the piss out of. It's just, honestly, I'm not looking forward to this because there's been so many Superman remakes. There's been so many Batman remakes. This shit needs to stop between these two. And you actually did forget about one other Batman that you didn't mention.
Val Kilmer.
I'm sorry, you are incorrect. Think earlier.
I'm talking who?
Adam West.
No. I'm not excluding Adam West, but that's goofy Batman. That's like comedy Batman. At least Christopher Reeves at Superman in the '70s was trying to play the character as being serious, whereas Adam West. Don't get me wrong, Adam West was awesome, and he's still like that character, and he wasn't even the first Batman, was he? I think there was one before him, or am I thinking of Superman?
I think it's Superman. Sorry. Oh,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Adam West, like, okay, yeah, he was a goofy one, but at the same point in time, they tried to portray the comic books in a 60s lifestyle, and that is how I remember Batman. That's kind of how I really remember Batman, with Adam West and, was it Burt Ward?
Yes, yeah, it was, for Robin.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's how I remember the Joker, the Riddler, and whoever else, the Penguin. I mean, those were up there. And seeing Danny DeVito as the Penguin, I was like, okay, that is great. That is a perfect, similar kind of Penguin that you have in a movie style compared to the TV show. And that kind of actually brought me to going, yes, I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those ones where I would love to see them do a little bit better, but I want them to stop. I really do. There doesn't need to be any more Superman things. There doesn't need to be any more Batman things. And even though it's pimping out to all the fans that wanted to see this, don't encourage Hollywood to do this shit anymore. Really, stop it.
You're absolutely right. I think this generation needs a break from the superhero scene. Like, even if they just finish up what they're doing now, like with the Batman versus Superman, and I heard there was another one that's supposed to be coming, another versus movie, like Chucky versus Leprechaun or something like that. Ugh. Anyway, they just need to wrap it up and say, you know what, okay, we're done for now. And then, you know what, in 10 years, maybe even a little more, give it some time, reboot it again if you have to. If you absolutely have no other ideas of what to do, which it seems like is the case. But yeah, I mean, give it a break. See if you can come up with something. Even if you have to do like Teddy Ruxpin movies, I don't care. Just do something different.
You could actually do a good horror with a Teddy Ruxpin movie. You really can. I even got a Teddy Ruxpin doll in my closet, and that thing still scares the shit out of me, even though the eyes and mouth do not move.
That is. Oh, I'm glad somebody else said that, because that thing scared the shit out of me when I was. I had one too. It had the eyes the blinking eyes and the mouth that just kind of moved like that. Oh, you know that. What is it about that doll? You know, it's just like, come dream with me tonight. Oh man.
Then you do what I did. You throw out Metallica and let it sing out Metallica on that, not just right there. Just puts a whole new meaning to holy fuck what.
Awesome. On that note, can you carry the show for a couple of minutes? I'm just going to go grab another beer. I am officially out now, and I will be right back.
Wow, you're drinking slower than, or drinking quicker than I am. I guess I got to start counting this back and catch up.
I'm on vacation.
All right, well, hurry up and grab your beer. And yeah, I obviously I know how to stock up on my liquor, but that's just me. Overall, guys, I mean, we've got a few more things that we'd like to discuss. But your thoughts, like, I would love to hear your thoughts for whoever's watching of what you think of, like, the trailers that have come out. What do you guys think possibly would be coming up next? I mean, you think about it this way. You've got these movies that are actually really starting to take flight. There's some that are going to crash and burn. And there's some that might actually make a difference. But you also have the TV shows. So we'll continue on with the TV shows in a second here. What John doesn't know is I'm going to bring up one that I've never seen before, but I really want to see the remake or the reboot of it. And we'll see what he says. I mean, this is going to be one of those ones where I think he'll be interested in hearing what I have to say, I think. For now, though, I mean, if you guys want to grab a beer, do whatever, we will be there and doing a bunch of stuff. It's we're sitting here just shooting the shit, pretty much, drinking, talking about the San Diego Comic-Con. Like I said, I really wish I could go to this. I would love to sit down and have a time at the San Diego Comic-Con. This is one of those ones where I would love to be there, as well as the other one that I really want to see is E3. That one would be a fun one to do. I also would love to go and see what else is there. I think what is it? Well, there's E3. There's this one. There's also the one that just passed. And excuse me. It was a long night last night talking to you guys. There's a few of them that I would love to just go out and spend a bunch of money on. I know that it would be something spectacular. It really would. I know that I would love to cover something like that. My beer fest, for example, I love going to beer fest. I love doing tours of different breweries. And that's along the same lines as this stuff. The Calgary Comic Expo, it doesn't come close to the San Diego one, but I think that I like the Calgary one because of the fact that I actually can enjoy being in a comic expo thing. And 6 years ago, it was small. Now it's grown in size. Hey, look at that. He's back. And I was just yammering on and on and on, talking about how much of a dick you were.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I assume. I took it up.
Oh, yeah. We've got Slayman's. It's no longer a shitty beer. We've actually gone up to a little bit more of a progressive beer.
It'll do.
Well, that's true. I was just talking about the Calgary Comic Expo and how it kind of pales to the San Diego one. However, it's still a good one to go and see. You've never been, have you?
No.
You really need to go.
I've been told.
Yeah, like I'd be saving money, and you really would need to go to something like this.
What do they have to offer?
What don't they have to offer? They've got a bunch of different things. Like last year, the autographs you can get, the pictures you can get. I mean, you saw me with, or did you see me with the Once Upon a Time cast? I got that. Neil Patrick Harris was there last year.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And he was a tough one to get a picture of, but I managed to do it, and I spent the money. Shouldn't have done that, but it was worth it. What else is there? There's a bunch of comics that you can pick up, pictures that you can see, and pretty much there's a lot of things for everybody. There's a little bit of stuff. Happiness and Cyanide are usually there, and I don't know if you've ever seen or read that comic.
No, I can't say I have.
Okay, that's actually a very graphic, interesting comic. Now there's also the guys that does Least I Can Do and Looking for Group, and that's also two great comics to web comics to see. Oh, what else is there? It's pretty much a great big geek fest. It really is. Like, you go wandering around. If there's something that you're interested in, that you're a geek on, guess what? It will be there. So.
Okay, so what I'll have to do is to maybe check that out. I should probably go with you next year, just to kind of be, I'm not chauffeur, show me around a little bit, I guess. Give me an idea of what I'm looking at here. I do know a lot of the actors, of course, from shows. Like, if you stood me in front of, like, the Supernatural cast, I know who they are. I'm slowly coming out of the closet, apparently, with my Buffy the Vampire Angel, and now, what is that, Supernatural? I don't know what it is about those shows. I just end up watching them, and they're good. They're okay. I would recognize the characters in the cast.
Yeah, I can see that.
Can we just edit that out once the live broadcast is done? Can you put something cool in there, like when I say, "Oh, I would recognize the cast of Jeffrey Does Dallas," and then you can just kind of something like that.
I recognize Stanley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe was kind of upset he couldn't make it last year to the Calgary Expo. It would have been his third time coming, and he's actually a big draw. But granted, I mean, like, there's Star Trek as well, and I know you're already out of the closet with Star Trek.
You know what? Actually, yeah, Star Trek I did watch. Leonard Nimoy, actually, that was one thing I wanted to ask you was, did you ever get a chance to see him or meet him? Was he ever there?
Yes, he was, actually. And actually, he actually went to Vulcan, too.
Yeah.
Like, the actual town, and they gave him a key to the city. Because of the fact that, well, you know, Leonard Nimoy. But he actually was there. He was really nice. I never got to meet him. The lineup was too big. Big surprise. But he was always really genuine in his answers. Oh, excuse me again. Wow. And it was just, it's one of the ones that I, like, it was almost like William Shatner, but Leonard Nimoy was more down to earth about being at the expo than William Shatner was. Don't get me wrong, I like William Shatner, but he was a little high on himself about it.
Yeah, he's still kind of living the, he won't let that go, of being Captain Kirk. And to this day, like, even now, you see him in interviews. And we're talking about a series that was out in the 60s. A couple of movies were made after that, of course, with them in it. But he's still really playing that character up. I mean, that's his goal. That's his bread and butter, I guess you could say.
It is. It really is. And, I mean, but when you make that kind of money, then, yeah, you pretty much, I'm this famous guy. But I mean, actually, speaking of people that I got to meet, you're going to hate me for this one.
Okay.
I actually got my picture with someone that we were talking about earlier. And in fact, my daughter got a picture with him as well.
Robert Englund?
Yep.
You asshole. What was he like? I know he's not really stuck up, from what I understand. He's more like, he's a good actor. He's actually a really good actor. And I think he's more of a proud actor than anything.
He is very much a proud actor, and he's very much a guy that loves what he did. Like, he loves the fact that he got to do Freddy Krueger. He loves the fact that people still ask him to reenact one of his voices that he does. I should actually, I really got to go back through my footage because I actually have taped the panel from Robert Englund at the Calgary Expo, and I really should release that because it was actually a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. And with my, I got my picture with him with my daughter, and it was the first time my daughter ever went to the Calgary Expo. I got to take her. She was in awe and everything, but she was a little scared. I mean, like, she saw Skeletor in the crowd, and she freaked out. She goes, "Oh my God, what's that?" I'm like, "It's Skeletor from He-Man. I've got to show you that."
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same point in time, we got our picture taken. I'm like, "Well, it'll be okay. It should be okay. This will be no problem." We get around the corner, and there's Robert Englund with his glove.
Yeah.
And the first thing that comes to my mind is, oh, shit. My daughter's going to freak. So the picture that we got is showing her with this very nervous smile. Robert England, he was very kind, very professional. He goes, okay, you stand beside me, put your arm around me, do whatever. I'm going to go and crouch down in front of your daughter, put my hand on her shoulder, and give a great big Freddy smile. Like, I was drooling, and there's my daughter going.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her, but I've got this picture of her, and she's got this nervous smile on her face, going, I don't know what to make this. And I think I remember her saying that she had some nightmares the night after.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those ones where I will still always remember that, and it was awesome to see. But yeah, it was one of those ones where I'm like, wow, later on in life, my daughter's going to pay me back for that one. She really is.
Yeah, that's really cool though, because if you think about it, like the 30s, 40s, and 50s had their King Kong, their Godzilla, right? And then of course the 70s, 80s, 90s, we had our Robert Englunds, our Freddy Kruegers, and then now they have their like Kardashians. Who do they have now? That's the Kim Kardashians of the world is the scariest thing that we can think of. Because really, they have the movie, the series that came out probably 8 or 9 years ago. I can't even remember the name of it. It's very popular. Jigsaw, the character Jigsaw.
Oh, right, from Saw.
Yeah. I mean, are these as memorable as what we grew up with?
Saw, yes. But you also have Shark Week too. Does that count?
Yeah, I guess so.
And we also have, what else is pretty scary? Well, you said the Kardashians. Donald Trump. He's scary.
He is scary, yeah. One day he could rule the world.
But right now, I think we're also going back to the superhero era, where now that's where we're at, where we grew up with the comics and everything else like that. Now they're growing up with the comics in movie format. And I think the thing that would scare me the most, actually the new Joker that's coming out for Suicide Squad, that kind of gives me the creeps. What else would give me the creeps? Well, there's the Scream franchise. Does that count?
I don't know if that'll. Yeah, I think it'll count to a certain degree. I'm talking more like supernatural characters. The Scream character, the mask and everything. You can go to your local Walmart and pick up that mask every year. Same with Freddy Krueger. I'm talking about like a real slasher horror, get you in your dreams kind of killer. Do they have that anymore? Is there really a supernatural character that in this day and age, these films, that people go to bed and like can't sleep, they have nightmares about, like we did when we were growing up? I just don't see it anymore. I mean, it could just be because I'm getting older and I've lost touch with it, but I don't know, maybe there isn't.
Well, there might be. I don't know if Michael Bay counts as a scary person, but he's more of a director, and he's ruining a lot of the movies that we used to enjoy as kids.
Yeah, speak of the devil, he did the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yeah. But Rob Zombie did Halloween, and I still yet to see that.
And you know what? Here's my thoughts on Rob Zombie. Like, I was a huge fan of White Zombie, the band. Rob Zombie's solo career was great. I think anyway, just again, personal opinion. I could see he has talent. He has a good eye for gore, but not horror, if you know what I mean. Like, he fit right in perfectly to what these remakes were all about, which was blood,
Blood, guts, and just sex, violence, and a rock and roll type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I honestly can. No, in the way of oh God. No, you come to think about it, there really isn't something that would actually make you piss your pants in the middle of the night scary like this.
Yeah, like Michael Myers of the '70s was scary. Michael Myers of the now, it just doesn't have that same effect anymore. I mean, even Freddy Krueger, if they were to make another Nightmare on Elm Street right now with, even if Robert Englund said, okay, you know what, I'll do it, I'll do one more, I don't even think that it would be, I think they would continue from where they left off with, well, Freddy's Dead, where it was almost a comedy. So I think that it probably wouldn't have the same effect on this current like young generation as it did on when we were kids. So it's really hard to say. Maybe it's just not gonna. Maybe there will never be another character that can do that like it did back then.
Well, you do have the supernatural stuff like paranormal activity that could actually scare people because
Yeah,
it's stuff that actually can happen. But I think more, you're right, it's more reality TV that could probably scare the shit out of people. Like Ghost Hunters or something like that, where they pretend or they try to find ghosts. I mean, that a
yeah,
lot of the nowadays people like to see the fact that it is actually real, but of course you search on the internet and a lot of it is 100% fake. It is hard to scare people when they can go out and do research on this stuff where you couldn't back in the 80s and it actually be like, oh my god, that kind of stuff, and your imagination runs wild, where they can
yeah,
jump on a computer this year, Google it and go, oh well, it's not that scary then. Well, whatever.
yeah. I guess yeah. That's actually perfect. Like we have so much easier access to things to almost call it fraud before before it has time to grow as a character, before it has time to grow as a fear. Slenderman was the last thing I could think of that was really an internet craze, and of course that was started on a forum just by some kid, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I don't know, like there's you. It is hard to scare the kids at this day and age. Granted, I mean there could be stuff out there that would do it, but once again, it has to be more reality TV. It has to be more of real stuff than versus the this day and age kind of thing where it could be scary, but it's not quite as scary as it should be. We've got the technology to make it scary. And actually, there is an app, and I really want this to come out because this actually would probably be the perfect thing to be that scary thing. Is it's an app that you put onto your iPhone, and now a lot of people like their phones or anything else like that. But this app actually makes your surroundings, takes it off the camera, loads it up and turns it into like a mini haunted house on your phone. Like you have these things that jump out at you. You have all this stuff that's on your phone, but you look up and it's not there. Like that kind of shit would actually scare me. And I'm sure it would scare a lot of other people as well. And that would be something that I would love to see. And that actually might be the next generation of scare tactics.
That's actually a really good point, and adding on to that, like you said, it's an app, and that's really like like this. What I'm holding right now is everybody has one, and I've been using one of these for 15 years now, and if there's any way to really get under people's skin is to scare them with the thing that they almost it's a safety blanket. It's your teddy bear almost. It's what you have on you at all times, and what could something like this do to scare you? Nothing, right? But to actually introduce something like that, even if you already know it's fake, just like going to see a movie when we were kids, we knew it was fake, but it still gave us nightmares. I think that I think that with this whole virtual reality, whether it be the VR or the HoloLens, whatever it's going to be, I can imagine these, like you said with that app, these being things that introduce something into your environment that you know isn't there, but maybe it could be, in the sense that it's being thrown at you in your home or on your counter or while you're watching TV. It could be sitting beside you on the couch, but it's all because you're wearing these goggles, and that could be really scary. That could be, but it's all about the fun, right? As long as you know it's not real. Um, but it scares me to think that there's going to be people out there that take this a little too far.
Yep.
But I think that like our generation when we were growing up, we knew not to make a handmade glove, put razor blades on it, and kill people. You know, and I don't blame movies and TV for what happens in this day and age. I think that it's this day and age that ruins people. I think it's the lack of. This is going completely off topic, but it's the lack of just an understanding. It's a lack of a parent saying, "This is just, it's a movie. You know, this isn't real. You know, this doesn't happen." So that scares me more than what we saw as kids, is knowing that some of these kids are just so almost desensitized by what they see that it's just perfectly okay to do those things and assume that nothing bad could come of it because it's just virtual reality or it's on our phone.
That's true. It's just, I mean, I would love to see something come out that would actually give these kids something to think about. My daughter says that she would never watch a horror movie because it scares her. Yet, she actually went and watched Jurassic Park. And I was like, well, it was okay. I mean, it didn't scare me much. I'm like, how? This is the same child that I went and took to Walking with the Dinosaurs, and she was pretty much in my lap while this was going on. But you could see how it was animatronic, or the people were moving the dinosaurs. Yet, Jurassic Park, nothing, or Jurassic World, I should say, sorry, nothing really scared her. She said there was jump scares, and that was it. That's what they go for, coming back around again to the jump scares. It's all about the jump scares now. It's not about actually scaring the living snot out of people, because if you do, you've got these people saying, well, that's too scary. You should not be showing this on TV.
Yeah.
And this is why I am excited, very excited for Deadpool, because we're actually going to probably get our very first R-rated movie in a very long time, thanks to the way that they're doing Deadpool.
Yeah, and that's good. I think that's really good. It's time to it might be rated R, meaning kids aren't intended to see this movie in the theaters or whatever, but you know what's going to happen, and I think that's a good thing, because they're going to go in and see this and they're going to be like, this is fucking cool. This is what we used to sneak into theaters for. This is what we used to rent without, you know, getting the okay from the, you know, from the video store, and we used to do this. We go out of our way to get these movies. I think this might be a good step. You're absolutely right about Deadpool. If it's rated R, I guarantee you there's going to be more 15, 16, 17-year-olds seeing this than 18-year-olds.
Oh, yeah. And it's true. And it's going to be something that I can actually see happen, and it'll be something amazing. And speaking of sneaking into theaters to see movies, Lost Boys snuck into it.
Nice. I remember that movie fondly. Actually, that was a really good vampire movie for its age, or for its year, I guess. Was that Kiefer Sutherland?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and
Corey Feldman, Corey Haim.
That's right. And I can't remember what his name was from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, but he was one of the vampires as well.
Yep.
But that was a good movie. That was actually a really good movie. You snuck in to see that, huh?
I did. My friend and I, he won tickets on the radio by calling in. You know, you push those buttons on the phone. You have to wait. If it becomes busy, you hang up and dial again. For the people that don't know about this, that's usually the way we won tickets back in the day. He actually won tickets to a movie that we were gonna go see, but we decided not to. And I'm very thankful for it, because it actually had Pee Wee Herman in it. I bet you don't remember what movie had Pee Wee Herman, and it wasn't Pee Wee's Playhouse either.
Pee Wee's Big Adventure. What movie was he in? I don't know. You know, I can't. What was it?
It was so cheesy that we decided to go to see The Lost Boys. It was the screen premiere of going to see Back to the Beach.
Wow. I've never even heard.
And there's a reason why you've never heard of that movie.
Yes. I won tickets. I won tickets to see the Beavis and Butthead Do America movie. And my friend was too young to get in, so I had to decide whether or not I'd go in and see this movie without him, or I say, you know what, we'll give the tickets away to somebody else, and we'll go do something, you know, So in the end, I lost a good friend, but got to see Beavis and Butthead do America.
Nice. Yeah, I got sneaking to see Lost Boys, and being the good, honest child that I was, I told my parents, and they scolded me, and I was grounded. But that is one of the best memories I've ever had. I may have been grounded, but oh my god, that movie fucking rocked.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, that was one of my favorites. That's a really that brings back memories too, because it was so 80s. You know what I mean? Like everything about his big hair. Like Corey Feldman was such an over actor, and he was just a terrible actor, but he was really good in that movie. You know what I mean? He was perfect for that role. That whole he was trying to kill all the vampires. I don't know. Yeah, that movie just brings back memories. I don't even know why it just does.
No, it's true. It's very true. And actually, I just got a question about something here. And I've got two questions here, so we're going to try and go off topic here. The first one was a Deadpool reference. Now, it was from one of our fans out there, and they asked, what about if you have a Deadpool action figure? Honestly, if you have a Deadpool action figure, congratulations. I kind of want the Deadpool action figure. I've got an Ozzy Osbourne hiding somewhere, and I love my action figures. Actually, speaking of which, maybe I should pull up my action figures. What would you say? Would you love to have a Deadpool action figure? Well, I'm just trying to get this.
Yeah, no. I can honestly answer that with a simple no. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't think it would be fair to the true fans. I'm just going to stand up and mind just for a second. I don't. I used to have a collection of Tortured Souls series from, I think it was Todd McFarlane. I'm probably getting the name wrong. I had a few of those anyway, and they were really, really cool. But as for Deadpool, and no, I think it's only fair that if you're a fan, yes, you should be able to get that, and you should collect things like that. But if you have no idea anything about the movie, then or the comic book, sorry, then no, you shouldn't. If you have one, awesome. I personally don't. If I see the movie and I'm like, man, this character is awesome, I really want to get into it a little bit more, I buy a comic book, I buy the action figure, I keep it on my wall. But right now, I'm sticking with this Jason Voorhees I have here. It's the only action figure. I have a Freddy Krueger from the new Nightmare series. But if you look right here, you take off the mask, and you can see his face. So that's really the only action figure that I have. And of course the machete, the
machete.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have. So what do you got?
Well, I was going to bring my thing down. I just had a bunch of Marvel action figures still in their stuff, and I can't find... I've been moving shit around all for the past little while because I've been changing up my basement. I do have an Ozzy Osbourne Bark at the Moon doll or action figure from Todd McFarlane, and I actually had a couple of other things, and I would have loved to held on to some of the stuff, but, I mean, if I had a Deadpool one, that would have been awesome. Back in the day, I used to have... it was a gray plastic things that my father had, and he gave them to me. And one of them was Iron Man, and another one was, crap, I can't remember what it was. But it wasn't the Iron Man you people know today. It was the actual Iron Man where he had chains, and he had the cast iron mask that just looked horrible. Yeah. But, I mean, that kind of stuff, but yeah. I don't have a Deadpool. Actually, be pretty cool. I think I actually wouldn't mind getting a Deadpool figurine just because he's so fucking badass.
I had Batman from when the Batman movie was out, the '89 Batman, I should say. So of course I had the Joker. I had the Batmobile. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to comic books, I guess the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they were initially a comic book, and still are today. But I had all those toys.
Hence the stuff in your back there.
Yeah, as you can see, the Turtle Van. I don't know if you can see it there. That's actually the entire collection of DVDs inside of that, and which I haven't watched literally since probably 1991, maybe. And then the Michelangelo Pez dispenser, which is right in front of it there. You probably can't make that out, but yeah, I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to that kind of thing. It's a nostalgic thing for me. I'll probably never watch those movies, but it brings me back, to a better time, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's true. And actually, Last year or the year before, you missed it. They had the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cast in the Comic Expo. Like, we're talking all 4 Ninja Turtles plus April O'Neil, the voice actors for them.
Oh yeah.
So that was really pretty awesome. I do have a video that I had where you had Rob Paulson go and start the crowd who was waiting for autographs to shout out Turtle Power to some other people. It's quite funny. But this is the whole thing that you miss out on these comic expos. You got to see this shit just to understand that there's a lot of stuff that happens at this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll join you next time.
You have to save up money. You really need to save up money because it's not cheap. It really is not cheap. I know that I gave people flack for going to the Stampede on my last show because of the amount of money that they spent. But granted, I also did say, on the other hand, if you go to comic expos, you spend about the same amount of money in a shorter period of time because of all the stuff that you can do. I can't wait to put up all my pictures of all the people I've got pictures with, like from Robert Englund to Nathan Fillion to Weird Al Yankovic, and all around there. Like, I get at least 2 per year, and I've been going for 6 years. So you can imagine my collection I've got going on. Yeah, I'm a geek. Now, the other question I had, and I was going to bring this up, and while you were away, I was discussing this with people while you were off getting your beer, is there was another series that came out during the San Diego Comic-Con that I'm kind of excited for. I've never seen the original, and I want to go back and see it. My fiance is a really big fan of this, and I know it's coming out again in September, so I don't have much time. Heroes Reborn.
Oh, yeah,
Did you see that?
No. I heard about it about 3 months ago. They were going to be doing a new series, completely revamped, so it wasn't going to have anything to do with the original series. Apart from the fact that it was all kind of started with like a total eclipse or something like that, a full eclipse, and then maybe some guest appearances from the original series. I'm actually looking forward to this. I thought it was a good series. I still have it on DVD, the box set. I didn't know about any more recent news on it, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Okay, because like I said, I've never seen it myself, so I'm totally a newbie on this, and I've wanted to see it because I heard a lot of good things about Heroes. Heroes Reborn actually has one actor from Once Upon a Time. He actually played Peter Pan in Once Upon a Time, and he was an amazing villain for Peter Pan. Like, you don't expect Peter Pan to be a villain, but he portrayed him like just a genius Peter Pan. And he actually scared the shit out of me. So speaking of villains that scare the shit out of you, that would have been one of them, because he turned my childhood fantasy person into someone that is like, no, he's bad. You stay away from him. He's bad.
No, that's cool. That's cool. No, I didn't know that that character was going to be in the new Heroes Reborn. But yeah, no, if you get a chance to, I definitely recommend go checking out the original series. It's strange saying original series. Okay, so let me get into a little bit of detail about that. The original series kicked off really strong. It had a bit of a slow start, but it didn't matter because it had such a good story. We're talking about season 1. Season 2 was good because it kind of picked off with main villains, and can't remember the name of. I think it was Cyrus. I want to say Cyrus was the main villain in the show, but I can't remember exactly. There was a writer's strike, as you would probably recall. I think it was in 2007 or 8 or something along those lines. I could be wrong about the date. And after that, the show was cut short mid-season 3, and everything went to shit. So I wouldn't blame Heroes series. I should probably get another one of these, dude. I think I might be drinking one of you.
Well, possibly. Continue on what you're saying there.
But I definitely recommend checking out the series. I'll even lend it to you. It is really good, especially the first 2 seasons. Once you get towards the end, and then the last season of the show, it just cut off. It came to a halt. They ended it. without ending it, if you know what I mean. Like it was just like it was literally just cut. Like they canceled the show. With the writer strike occurring, it lost a lot of ratings. I'm sure that's what happened. They didn't know where to go with the story because of the break in between. I think they had a lot to go with, but they just didn't go the right path. So what I would recommend is check out the first 2-3 seasons. I think you'll like it, and then it'll give you an idea of the new series that's starting, Heroes Reborn, and maybe you'll like it.
I think I will, because I kind of wanted to see it. I wanted to see it over Lost. And for you Lost fans out there, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was one of those ones. And like I said, my fiance loved it. And I'm probably going to sit down and just do a powwow through all of it. Because I do want to see this in September. It actually looks like something that I would love to see. It sounds like, now I'm getting comments from viewers here. And yes, we actually have viewers. Hurrah. And it says, it looks like Noah is going to be a main character, or at least anchor into one of the new cast of characters. Also, Matt returns, and Hamrider? Hamrider? You know the series, so...
Yeah, okay, so Matt, I won't spoil the original series version 1.0 for you, but Matt was actually if one of the main characters, if not one of the most important characters, especially from the first episode. Matt is a character. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler, and for anybody that's watching right now, Matt is. Hold on, just let me get my camera one. Yes. Now Matt is a character. Okay, let me Matt up here. Matt is a character that is able to take powers from people that are close to him. It's been a while since I've seen the show, guys. You know, don't get angry with me. He's able to absorb the powers from the people that are around him for a very short period of time. But the show kicks off basically with him absorbing these powers in a dream, and his brother is his brother from another mother. Now his brother's I believe running to be governor. I think it's in New York. I can't remember exactly where the show takes place. But it's a long story short, his brother actually has the power that he's dreaming that he has. So you'll have to watch the show. It's really good. It makes me want to watch it again. It's been a while.
Yeah. It sounds interesting. Like, I am intrigued. Like, I really want to see where it leads off. If I remember correctly, there's one guy in Heroes that actually played in what the hell was it? Terra Nova, if I remember correctly. But I could be wrong. There's so many TV shows that come and go that I can't remember half the shit and half the actors. Like my fiance is very happy when I actually go, "Oh my God, that person's from that show," and she goes, "You actually know?" I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah.
She's usually the one that tells me. So.
Well, you know the character that played Spock in Star Trek, the new Star Trek.
Yes.
Cyrus. Cyrus is the character he plays in Heroes.
Okay.
It wrong. And he's an amazing actor. You know what? This guy just blew me away. You know, and I'd like to actually ask anybody that's watching right now, you know, what are your favorite characters from the show? Because he was definitely my favorite character.
Okay, so I'm just going to correct you on here, but it sounds of things. You were mistaking Matt for Peter?
Yes, Peter was the one running for. Was it? Oh, you know what? You're right. Peter was the brother with the longer hair. He was kind of the. Yeah, you'll have to watch it. Yeah, sorry, my mistake. Yeah.
Sorry, we were just quoted by. We were just corrected by one of the fans here, and also the main enemy in season 2 is Sylar.
Sylar, thank you. Again, it's been a while since I watched the show, but I do appreciate it.
Hey, well, like I said, like I haven't seen it in a while. Well, I've never seen it, so I don't know. I'm just going by what people have been telling me, and that's awesome. Like, hey, this is actually kind of cool. I like this chat feature. It's actually kind of neat.
I can't actually see the live chat through my window, but I can see you.
Yeah, well, I'm the most important person because I'm the host here. I mean, come on, I've already been hit on by Johnny Old School. I know that Joe from Brew Games has been hitting on me. It's all good. But guys, I'm sorry, I'm taken.
No, that's not good enough. I can have any man I want in this room.
Yeah, I heard usually in there. What was that?
Normal. Okay, sometimes. I got a date anyway. Anyway, so Heroes Reborn, I'm looking forward to it. I need you to take it away from here so I can grab another brewski, because again, I'm out. Yeah, so anything you want to talk about, I'll be right back.
All right, I guess I'm going to be covering again because this guy does not have the beers in his room that he should get more on. But yeah, okay. So we were corrected a couple of times on that. Thank you guys. If you guys want to join in chat, by all means, we do have chat going up here. And I will mention it to John when he comes back that Nathan did run for governor and then president. Once again, don't spoil it too badly for me. I am a virgin of heroes. True Blood, I was a True Blood, we could talk about all day. I'm trying to remember what else is showing up. Once Upon a Time, they came out with a new trailer, and I haven't finished watching season 4 yet. However, being part of a Facebook fan page, and probably half the people haven't seen Once Upon a Time, they're actually introducing a couple of people to it. And when John comes back, he's only seen the past couple of seasons for it. However, like I said, I'm up to season 4. Now, for the people that haven't caught up to Once Upon a Time, is actually a great show to watch. I actually enjoy it because it does take that story, the fairy tale aspect, twist it around, turn it upside down, drop it on its head. This season, though, there's a lot of people complaining coming up for season 5 because of the fact that they're bringing in another Disney person. Actually, this one's Pixar. They usually do Disney. This one is Pixar. And this one they're bringing in. And for the people that don't want to know, well, shit. It's going to be Merida from Brave. She's coming into it. So we're going to have another Archer in there. And for the other people that don't know what's going on, I'm not going to mention anything else about the lead character or anything. But, I mean, Once Upon a Time has actually been a big favorite of mine because of the fact that I've actually visited the site. It's amazing. It's actually in BC. It's a lot of fun to watch people filming. And I kind of was a little... Okay, I was geeking out a lot because it was in close to my hometown of Steves. It was in Steveston. I was born and raised in Victoria, and it actually is one of those ones where I will sit down and watch it for a while because I'm a geek. I'm like, oh my god, it's close to my hometown. But that's just me. So, other than that, if you've never known where Steveston is, and you've seen the new Godzilla movies, that place, Steveston, is actually in the new Godzilla movies. But if you really want to watch Once Upon a Time, it's pretty decent. Like, for the people that have never seen it, sit down and watch it. It does a good twist on the fairy tales. Yeah, aside from that, what John doesn't know is I'm going to be taking this beer. I'm going to be taking this beer. And I'm going to be mixing them. So the people that haven't seen my Frankenbrews before and don't know what beer is in glass number 1 because you joined late, I am actually drinking a Heretic. It is the Heretic Torment, and actually it is a great dark Belgian style ale. Definitely worth the money for it. I probably aged this a little bit longer, if I remember correctly. No, this one's not bottle aged. However, what I do have is I never got to read this, and while he's gone for a bit, I'll read it quickly. When I first saw Stargers engraving of Saint Anthony being tormented by the devils, the image stuck with me. Years later, I found out that some consider Saint Anthony the father of Montaniscusm. I'm sorry, I cannot speak tonight, and that is a long word. Monks have provided, or have produced, okay, let's try this again. This is why I usually do my stuff and edit it afterwards. Welcome to me trying to learn and write off this shit on the spot. Monks have produced great beers for centuries. So if there is no St. Anthony, we probably would have such a great we probably wouldn't have such great trap of sales today. That would truly be a life of torment. Our torment is this rich beer of lots of caramel, malt, dark fruit, and dark Belgian candy sugar notes. The luscious fruity character is full of caramel apples, candy pears, and chocolate-covered oranges. Please enjoy responsibly. Well, I'm live, and John's back, and I'm enjoying responsibly, but I'm live. You know how it works.
You are live.
Exactly.
Okay, so I snuck in via my mobile device, and I couldn't help but notice that Siskel and Ebert gave us 2 thumbs down for this live broadcast.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But
How awesome is that?
Siskel and Ebert have been dead for years. How the hell did they give us 2 thumbs down?
Well, it's the ghost of Siskel and Ebert, of course.
Oh, shit, we brought them back from the grave just so they can give us 2 thumbs down?
Yep, according to this, we got 2 thumbs down. So, you know, I'm alright with that, though, because you know what? 2 thumbs down is better than nothing at all.
Really?
Yes, I'm very happy about that. I love talking about movies. I love talking about, you know, even comic book characters that I know nothing about, and being told that we are wrong about hero characters and things like that.
Well, the funny thing is, the people that give the 2 thumbs down have not joined us in chat and told us why. So I love how they like to stealthily come in, give us a thumbs down, and wander off. Nah. This is me caring.
This is good. I actually did an interview about a year ago with Decker Shadow, as you may know. A pretty popular YouTube guy. Good friends with him, and really good guy. Did a great interview with him, and that long-haired creepy guy, another YouTube personality, pretty popular. And yeah, got good, I think it was like 15 thumbs down.
15 thumbs?
15 thumbs down, about 2 thumbs up. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it.
If I was there, you would have had 3 thumbs up. I'm sorry.
Well, thanks. And I think it might have resulted in the fact that we all ended up taking our shirts off midway through the interview. Much like today, it's very warm in this room I'm in. I have a little fan. I have a fan that's about this big, and it's blowing warm air onto me right now as we speak. But the cold beer makes it a lot easier to do these podcasts, and I think that you're doing an awesome job as a host, and it's good that you started doing these podcasts.
Well, I do enjoy doing them, and I mean, yeah, I'm sure they're probably wondering why the fuck we're not talking about beer. Well, yeah. A, you don't have a lot of beer. You have most Canadian, you have Slayman's. B, we need to fill something while talking about this. And just to let you know, we did get a thumbs up. So big shout out to Brew Games, who actually made it a 33% thumbs up now.
Awesome, thank you, Brew Games. Much appreciated. I like to think that we're doing. Something a little different. Most podcasts, they're usually either about. I've been doing podcasts for about 3 years now. I can tell you, number one, they like to stick to one topic, and that's usually whether it be tech related, comic books related, or it could even be beer related. It's usually they stick to that topic, and that's all they talk about the entire series. This I like because we're mixing two different personalities, really. Like, you know, Painkiller here, he does booze reviews, and he's an IT guy. So
exactly.
You know, and we're talking, so we got an IT guy that does booze reviews. We got a guy that does podcasts about tech talk, horror movies, and we can talk about anything we want because basically we're 2 guys that we know a little about a lot. I guess you could say. But it's good. Yeah.
And I mean, like you have people like, for example, Brew Games. They're actually I'm going to be filming with them on Thursday, so they get to see what the studio and how really small it fucking is. They're going to be filming with me, and in all honesty, these guys do games, and they also do beers, so they combine the two. I can't wait to be on their show. That's going to be further down the road, and not to pimp them out too much, but Brew Games, Brew Games, Brew Games, and Brew Games. But and at the same point in time, with you as well, like you do have your podcast for the win, and I know that you did go on hiatus for a bit because you had a lot of stuff that you had to contend with in real life.
Yep.
However, you're sticking with it. You have these other guys that's like, well, I'm going to go on hiatus and I don't know when I'm going to be back. And they don't come back because they're scared to come back because they don't know what's going to go on. For you and I personally, we're looking at this going, you know what? By all means, I don't care what we talk about. We talk about anything, we drink. And people can listen, they can watch, they can drop off, whatever they want to do. But we talk. We actually interact like human beings. We talk about different things. And I don't know what exactly these guys have an issue with. But hey, you know what? This is my first time I have ever got 2 thumbs down in one episode.
This is the first time I've ever seen 2 thumbs down. This is the first live episode I've ever done. I've done a lot of podcasting is technically pre-recorded content for uploading later, right? So this is a live broadcast, completely different. When I first started off, my very first podcast I ever did, I did it on a website called Spreaker.com, and it's pretty popular for podcasters. First one I ever did, man, I was fucking nervous. I remember sitting here and I was using the old CAD GXL 2400 microphone, which is I still use as a backup. It's my go-to microphone. You know, it's like it just never dies. I sat in front of it. I hit the record live button, so it was technically live. It also kind of does this thing where it gives you options to, use the sound gate, all these other little technical things you can do. But man, I was sitting there, I was so fucking nervous, and I remember hitting record, and like that, it was just like boom, 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 boom. I couldn't even remember taking a breath. I think I did this podcast for about 20 minutes straight. And this was before I did the Sabotage show. This is long before Podcast for the Win. This was my very first podcast. I wasn't even on Manic Expression at the time. I was just nervous. I knew I wanted to do it. And as soon as I hit it, I hit record, live, boom. As soon as I was done, I was like, this is what I want to do. And if I ever needed to take a break, like you said, a hiatus, I knew that I was coming back because this is what I need to do. And whether or not I ever make a dime doing it, I sure as hell feel a lot better when I'm done doing it. It's like we play guitar, you and I both play guitar, it's relaxing. Whether or not you're ever going to get good at it, it doesn't matter because it fills something that you need to help get you through your day. And this, for me, just blabbing on about whatever would be comic books, or beer, or horror movies, it's what we do, and whether or not you like it, whether or not we get a thumbs up or a thumbs down, somebody's watching, and that means more than nobody watching.
And the way I look at it, we got 2 thumbs down on YouTube. That means we're doing good because we're actually having people that actually hate us. Bring it on, bitches! But honestly,
thanks for watching.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for watching. You just tuned in. Well, but at the same point in time, like it's one of those things where, exactly, for me, I started it because, well, I was going through rough patches. And I needed something to abide my time. And drinking alcohol wasn't quite in it at that point in time because that would mean I'd be drinking a lot of it, and I didn't want to do that. So I started off, and I actually went into doing movies. And I recorded a whole series that I wanted to do. I still remember the movie, which would be Cold Prey. Cold Prey never was released. I got the first intro out for it, and I dropped it because of the fact that editing Cold Prey and doing all the script writing and everything else like that, it would have sucked. And I don't pay those guys that actually do all this editing and stuff and all the script writing. It's a lot of time, a lot of hours that go into it. And then I went into music reviews where I do remake reviews, and I did 3 episodes of that. And I had people saying, "Oh my God, what the hell did I watch? You just put down Reba versus what was it? I think Rihanna, because they both did the same song." And being somebody who doesn't listen to country and doesn't listen to pop, I threw myself out there and I was like, you know what? Whatever. Bring it on. And then I realized, you know what? Everyone does this. Everybody fucking does movies. Everybody does this, that, or the other thing. And then I decided to turn around and go, you know what? People drink, but not a lot of people review beers the way I want to review beers.
Yeah.
And that's where I got the start. And I carried on from there, and I got Johnny Old School aboard. You've been on a few times. I'll be working with Brew Games as well. Red, who's been on a couple of times, has done a few reviews. And this has taken off. And in all honesty, I love doing the beers. And I love sitting down, and this is kind of the format. It's going to be an off-the-cuff format for Booze Reviews Chatter, where we're going to be drinking beers, and we're going to be talking about different things. Take, for example, the show that I really love watching, and I really want to give a shout out to these guys, and it's Drunk Tech Review. And these guys get drunk, and they review tech. And I've shown you their stuff, and I don't know if you've ever watched any of their things.
I have seen their posts on the main channel, like on the main Facebook page. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that earlier. I was thinking, man, like, I love tech. Like, I love tech, and one of the things that I love about tech is the fact that there's so many fanboys out there. So these guys sound like they're the opposite. They sound like they get drunk and they talk about shit they like. But the problem is that there's so many fanboys out there. And so basically this is how fanboyism works. You either love Apple or you hate them. You either love Microsoft or you hate them. You either love Android or you hate them. There's no if, and, or buts about it. I have a Windows phone. I actually should probably switch cameras. I have a Windows phone. I have an Android phone. And I have an Apple iPad Air 2. I am using all of this with my Windows 10 PC, and I have used Macs numerous occasions. I use them because I like them. I like them because they all have good uses. If I was a fanboy snob like you see so many people out there, I would say, man, nothing but Microsoft for me, or nothing but Apple for me, because they can never do anything wrong. But truth be told is, the iPhone is a good phone. And Android makes a piece of shit phone. And this is a high-end Android phone, okay? This is probably the second best-selling phone for Android there is. But Android is a piece of shit. They make a great tablet. As long as it's pure Google. As long as it's like pure Android Google experience. You know, best tablet, you can argue whether it be the iPad or the Surface. I think the Surface is a really good tablet for professionals. The iPad is a good tablet for on the go if you're a poetry writing motherfucker in a coffee shop. You know, you can buy a MacBook Pro. But
it's true.
It's true, but they all give you something that you can use on your daily basis. So I don't shit on any of them as a whole. I use everything and I get good use out of them. But Apple makes shit products, Android makes shit products, Windows makes shit products, as we all know. But they also make good products. So I can't pick either side, and I think that's why that makes me a good tech reviewer, because I'm not a fanboy, and you're not a fanboy. You like different kinds of beer, you know.
True. When it comes to tech, I am a fanboy. I have to admit it. Apple and I don't get along. I've honestly tried, and Apple pisses me off. Not gonna lie, I have tried to and fix a Macintosh. I've tried to fix an iPhone. I've tried to fix like the Apple Air, whatever it is, and all of them I have a dispute with, and I want to fucking crush with a goddamn sledgehammer. I hate Apple, but that's just my personal experience.
Yeah.
Android phones, I'm going to have to disagree because right now I'm running the G3, and that actually is a really good phone.
Yeah.
Tablets, I'm going to agree because it is an Android, and I actually have been running a Transformer, I think it's 100. It's one of the older ones, and it's been a beautiful one, and you can also go, and if you can do it properly, you can hack it. I mean, I've got dead space on my Transformer, and I didn't have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's different things that you can do, and I mean, like I said, but when it comes down to beers, you're right. I'm not a fanboy. Well, I'm not a total fanboy. I do have my favorite breweries,
And that's okay. That's okay because that's what experiencing these different things is. You have had bad experiences with Apple, as you said. You've had good experiences with Android, as you said. And I know you're a Windows user. But with things like that, with like beer, it's okay to have a preference over others. But just because you like this one more than you like, this is a terrible example. But if you like, this one more than you like this one, it doesn't mean that you're not going to try another beer by Molson, for example, as an example. Just because you had a bad experience.
And it's true. And I mean, I've sat there and I've gone on sites, and I understand other people's points of views where they say that, for example, I go on a lot of the ones that are down in the States, and they say that Samuel Adams is going to no longer be a craft market. And that upsets a lot of people who actually enjoy Samuel Adams because they do bring up different beers. But now that they're close to being in the macro category, they're no longer craft per se. It's almost like up here where people say that Big Rock is not craft. They are to a degree, but their brewery is so huge that they actually make beer for other people like Co-op and a few other no-names. But the no-names use their names, but they say that it's brewed by Big Rock Brewery.
Yeah.
In a sense, that technically doesn't mean that they should be craft, but it also says that they should not be craft because they make a certain amount. They haven't surpassed the amount to say that they're not craft, though. So they're staying within it to still say that they're craft beer. But if you ever take a tour of their brewery, it's huge. It's absolutely fucking huge, just massive. I fully recommend going to take a tour of their brewery, by the way. But I mean, you have these other ones that are in, say, Penticton, like Tin Whistle. These guys are smaller. They're really nice, but they still throw out everything to a few people. Over in the east, you have Flying Monkeys. Big name right now because they're getting everything sent all over the place. And they've got some good beers. And I know I've made you jealous with a few, and I'm sorry. But I mean, for example, Parallel 49, they cover 20 states right now, I think it is, and about 4 provinces in Canada. But they're still a craft beer because of the beer they make and the different varieties they make. It really sucks to see this kind of stuff, but yes, I am. I'm not a beer snob. I will never be a beer snob. I will give my opinions of what this beer is like. But at the same point in time, if you don't like it, that's your opinion, not mine. I'm that's just who I am. And yes, it's like your tech stuff. It's like my beer stuff. And I love drinking with people. So to all the people out there, cheers!
Cheers. Yeah. Mm. I still have some of the Flying Monkey Optical Illusion. Is that what it is?
Yes.
I still have some of that in the mini fridge that hasn't been plugged in a month.
What?
Yeah, it's just sitting in there. Yeah.
You're killing it. You're killing the beer. No, wait, I'm not a beer snob. Well, that sucks to be that beer.
No. I think I'm doing the beer a favor. That beer was horrible. I feel like maybe if I let it sit a little longer and ferment a little longer, it might taste better in about 300 or 400 years. Maybe it'll be.
You're not an IPA fan. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading over the comments here. Okay, it's yeah. I sort of read over because we do have brew games here. I almost want to bring him in on this whole thing, but we're getting to the point where it's almost time for. What time is it? Holy shit, 11:30. We've been talking for a couple of hours, dude.
It's been good. It's been fun.
It has been, and I know that a lot of people don't do the live podcasts. I enjoy doing these live podcasts, and
I like it. I definitely like it.
It is. It's one of the ones that I would like to progress on, and I know that Brew Games has been, like I said, Brew Games been on here. You've been on here. Johnny Ellis been on here, and it's a good concept. Like I like sitting down, drinking beer, and talking about everything that I can. I will not mention feminism, governments, almost. You can talk about hockey as long as it's not the Flames.
There's only one hockey team, sir, and that is the Calgary Flames. I just wanted to let you know. And hold on, let me just redirect this camera for a second there. Look at that glorious Flames flag right there. There. That's all I'll do.
Oh, hold on a second here. Oh, fuck you.
The war has begun.
And it's not even the preseason yet.
Yeah, not even close. I love it.
And yeah, no, it's one of those things that I will sit down and I will talk to a lot of people here. It is quite nice. I honestly like what I do, and I do it for everybody else. And I will talk about hockey. I will talk about games. I will talk about tech. I'm a well-rounded person, and that's why I love having you guys on here, because you guys challenge me one way or another. And for the people that, like I said, that dislike it, you know what? Tell us why you dislike it. Are you sad that you're not seeing enough drinking? Because I've just finished off a full bottle of 10%, and I'm drinking more. Yep. So yes, I'm getting drunk. Fuck you.
And live, nonetheless. That's always the best part.
Exactly.
Drunk on live. Yeah.
I love getting drunk live. And I didn't mix my beers. Damn it, I said I was going to mix them. Mm-hmm. No Frankenbrew for you.
Yeah. Nope. So are we wrapping up here?
You know, I think we probably should, because we've talked about the SDCC. We've talked about all the stuff that's coming out. Heroes Reborn. Is there anything we're missing? Because I don't want to talk about the Calgary Stampede. I did that last time, and as much as it looked like you had fun at the Stampede, actually, you know something? Maybe I will ask one question from you. And we are going to go back to yesterday's episode where Johnny Old School and I talked about the Calgary Stampede, and we were not fans of it. We don't know exactly the opposite point of view, so to speak. Do you or do you not like the Calgary Stampede?
Okay, so I'm almost the wrong person to ask. Okay, I did go and I did have fun, but here's the thing, is that I went and had fun for the reasons. You and I are sitting down having beers right now, and we're having a good time, right?
Exactly, yes.
Calgary Stampede is just that for me. I've been doing it 30-something years, and I've never gone to the rodeo, ever. I could give a shit less about horses, guys riding horses, guys riding other cowboys for all I care, two guys and one cowgirl. I don't care. I go because when I was in high school, a good friend of mine, we would go every year. And we've kind of said to each other that we're going to continue doing that every single year. And now we're getting older, a little less hair, but it's still fun. I mean, we go to the beer gardens, we walk the grounds, we go see them, we walk down the Midway. It's like I said before, it's like the horror movie collection. It's nostalgic. It's not about theme of the Western bull riding and whatever these guys do, it has sentimental value to me more now than anything. So I can't defend it. I think for the same reasons that you wouldn't want to go, I could understand. And yeah, the crowds are stupid, and half the people there are probably from other parts of the world. And it is a mess, and there's a lot of dumb people there, but I go because I have sentimental attachment to it.
That you go. Now, do you go to get drunk, or do you just go because you can get drunk there?
No, I've never gone to get drunk. I mean, I've probably only gotten drunk twice. And yet, even this year, like, I had 4 or 5 beer, and their selection is horrible. But I go, yeah, it's nice to see a nice, proud, sponsored Canadian Calgary outdoor event, the greatest show on earth, sponsored by Budweiser. Yeah, Big Rock should be sponsoring this thing. Big Rock, if you're listening, and I really hope you watch this, I know you tried to make a stand, and you should be in there, because Budweiser should not be. You know, get rid of Molson Canadian. They've run their course. Get rid of Budweiser. Get a real Calgary, home-brewed, people love your beer. Get them in there. They should be what stands for the Stampede. If you're going to use that as an example, Big Rock, there's nothing better. I'm a big fan of Big Rock. So yeah, you know what, thumbs up to you guys. Kick ass. I hope you guys get in there soon. Kick Budweiser out of there. You want to talk about moose piss? That's fucking moose piss right there. But anyway, to clarify, I go for the sentimental value, the friendship. Like I said, we've been doing it every year, and that's it. For me, that's it. There's nothing really much more to it.
So it's like a tradition for you. I mean, you go because you get to meet with your friends, hang out for a few hours, and just sit back, have a few beers, shoot the shit, and enjoy yourself.
That's exactly all it is. It's tradition now. It's become tradition, but I'm not bored with it. I swear, it seems like every year it's like, when you've known somebody that long, and especially just a good friend, you reminisce more and more every year, right? You have more to look back on. We talk about high school. Like this year, we were sitting down in one of the saloons, and there was this live band playing. And it was like, man, do you remember we were sitting in science class pouring Smirnoff Ice into our Slurpees just to try to get through the class? And there was times like that. It's things like that. It's about a memory. And I think whether it had been the Calgary Stampede or the Calgary Zoo or the fucking 13th Avenue or 3rd Street, or wherever you want to say, wherever it would have taken place, that just brought back the memories. And so we do that every year.
That's a good point. I mean, like, okay, so that actually is a good thing for Stampede, that for yourself. I mean, you don't go out to get drunk, you don't go out to watch the rodeo, you go out to have a good time. And that I can see, it's like me taking my kids. I will do it if I can afford it. Most of the time, you can't afford it. And yeah, $8 a beer for a fucking Budweiser or Molson Canadian or anything else like that. And actually, Brew Games just brought up a good point here. He said the problem is that they won't be able to pad the executive's bank account like the Budweiser can. But Village and Big Rock may others certainly are trying. And that's the thing, is if they actually brought a craft tent, so to speak, in, and brought in Village, brought in Big Rock, brought in Wild Rose, maybe even go as far as Edmonton to bring in something like Alley Cat, I can see that tent doing really well. And I can see Budweiser and Molson Canadian bringing in their fucking corporate shit, flexing their muscles and saying that I don't want any of the local stuff in, and then giving the opportunity, well, telling pretty much Calgary Stampede that they have to make a choice. That kind of shit would probably piss a lot of people off if Budweiser and Molson said, well, we don't want your local stuff in there. I can see a petition starting, and I can actually see Budweiser and like Molson Canadian be kicked out of there because of the fact that they actually did not want to share the sandbox, so to speak. And I could see actually the local craft market making a stand and coming in and kicking both of them out if it was done right.
Yeah, no, it's what's it, Brewmaster, did you say?
Yes, or no, Brew Games. Sorry.
Brew Games, right. It's a really good point. Right now, they've got the money. I mean, like, you look at Coca-Cola, same thing, right? The interesting thing is this year, and maybe even last year, I saw less and less of Coca-Cola being advertised throughout the grounds. It used to be they had not a tent, but a section where you could just go and there was a bunch of vending machines for Coca-Cola, specifically only Coca-Cola. This year, I didn't see any Molson Canadian at all. I don't remember seeing any Coca-Cola anywhere, but again, maybe I just walked past it and I didn't notice it, but normally it's like very obvious in your face.
Aside from the Coca-Cola stage, of course.
Aside from the Coca-Cola stage. But other than that, I didn't see a lot of flags everywhere like I normally would see. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Budweiser, they have the deep wallet, the deep pockets, and I think that Big Rock, I think you need to, and this is going, I'm speaking to you directly. Like if you see this, you need to come to us, like the fans, the people that enjoy your product, and there's a lot of us. You need to come to us, and we will back you when it comes to the Calgary Stampede, because this is Calgary. This is not you know, this is not the U.S. We're not in the States. Okay, so you come to us, and we will back you up, and they will listen, because we are the majority of the people that go. 1.5 million people go to Stampede every year, right? And majority of them are Calgarians. You come to us, and we will speak for you, because you are not as big as Budweiser, but we are. So, you know.
I agree to a point, because you also have the tourists that come in and they only know Budweiser or Molson Canadian, depending on where they come from. They don't know Big Rock, they don't know Wild Rose, they don't know Village, they don't know Last Best, for example. Sorry, excuse me. But at the same point in time, I actually agree with you, and maybe I might actually send an email off to someone to see if there's something we can do, not this year, not next year, but a couple of years down the road, because it will take about that long before anything happens.
Yeah, contracts are signed way ahead of time.
Well, contracts are signed, but they don't actually state that you can't have someone else come in, I betcha, to throw in a tent to say, here's a craft, local craft, because I bet you anything, there's going to be a loophole in there. And if we can figure it out, I personally, as a reviewer, would love to see that. I know there's a lot of other local people, as you said, would love to see that as well. I think we might make something happen here. I think it might be on something here. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would help out with that. As much as I don't like the Stampede, and understand I'm not doing this for the Stampede, I'm actually doing this for the local craft beer market, I think we can make something happen. And maybe I think I might have to pull in some big guns on this.
If you have anything up your sleeve, you know, why not? It wouldn't hurt.
I've got some names that I could actually pull out of the hat that I might be able to get something going. One of them is an ex major game contributor who now helps out with the Alberta beer area, and I think this actually would be something that I probably not only him could do for Calgary, but for Edmonton as well. I think this would be a big fucking step.
Nice. Let's see if we can change it. That would be very interesting if we could change something.
I think I might actually start. This isn't me smoking dope and going, yeah, I got a good idea. This is me drinking beer going, I might be able to do something here about that.
No. Yes. No.
There might be something that might be able to, yes.
As I pull up my hairs.
As I'm getting older, oh shit! Sorry, guys.
Yeah, just glue it to my head.
Yeah, but as like Brew Game said, Calgary's in Oh God, I can't read right now. Calgary is embracing craft beer at an incredible rate, and he's absolutely right. We're actually approaching upon Vancouver, who's got a great big market, and I think we can do the same ourselves. Calgary is up there. Edmonton, pardon me, is a close second. They're trying, but they're doing it wrong.
But Calgary has one thing that they don't, and whether or not it be true to this date, we do have the greatest outdoor show on earth, right? I mean, I'm not talking about what we personally think. I'm talking about what is written in the Guinness Book of World Records or whatever. It's the greatest outdoor show on earth, and wouldn't it be nice to actually have not even small, but a company like Big Rock come in and say, hey, listen, we are a part of this city. We are a major part of the city, and we'd like to be able to represent this city with what we have to offer.
I think that would be that actually would be quite amazing. And I know that, like I said, you've expressed this. Brew Games has expressed this. Johnny Old School has expressed this. And we're just a few people that actually would think that Big Rock would be up there, Village would be up there, Wild Rose, for example, would be up there. And like I said, Alley Cat. You know, if they combine forces, we can have Alberta represented. Not just Calgary, but Alberta represented not only at the Calgary Stampede, but also up in Edmonton for the Klondike days, and maybe even hit Lethbridge, Red Deer, and a few other places that actually need this kind of stuff to show that we are Alberta proud. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm from BC, and I'm actually saying Alberta proud.
Yep, it was a setup. I just want you to know that this entire episode, I was just trying to trick you into finally saying that. I am happy now.
Fucking, I said it on live TV. Bastard!
I hope Johnny Old School watches this because I'm a proud man. And speaking of which, I was watching an episode from around Christmas time, maybe a little bit before, I can't remember. And this was an outtake. And you had left the room for a minute. You had left the room for like 1 minute. Johnny Old School gets up and he walks over to the camera. Fucking funniest moment ever.
Yeah, and I had to post that because it was actually funny. Just hearing him say penis 5 different times in a camera, it was like, oh, you bastard. I can't believe, nope, this goes in outtakes.
That was classic. So
it is. Anyways, I think I probably should wrap this up.
Yep.
But you did, oh, shit. Well, Brew Games just commented, and you are a bastard. Brew Games, fuck you too. With kindness, but fuck you too. And he said, we did it. We fully converted PK. Welcome aboard, my friend.
Welcome. You are officially an Alberta boy. Now, you have to go to the Stampede and watch grown men ride horses and not get turned on by it. Well, you can if you want to. It's your choice.
I will do that only if Biff Naked is on the Coca-Cola stage once again. Deal?
Deal.
And I know that Biff Naked won't be back anytime soon. I win!
I'll watch you come back next year.
Son of a bitch. Anyways, I should probably wrap this up because, yes, I do have to do this work thing tomorrow, and after having this many beers, I am going to need an Advil and possibly an orange juice tomorrow morning. Thankfully, my coworker is back at work. So to my coworker, I'm sorry, but I'm almost on vacation mode, and in 2 more days, I'm out of here for fucking 5 days.
Nice.
It's going to be nice. But yeah, once again, John, thank you for joining me. We've chatted for approximately 2 and a bit hours. 2 and a bit hours. We're just at 2 hours and 15-minute mark. Brew Games for joining us in chat, and me for figuring out that we do have a chat and it actually works with a 30-second delay. To everyone else that joined us, thank you for the 2 thumbs down. I've got 2 fingers up for you. because it's live and I'm allowed to do that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do live. I love it.
There is, but it's one of those things. But yeah.
I give it a thumbs up.
I will give it a thumbs up later on when I'm sobering up and going, what the fuck did I talk about last night?
What was I thinking? There's a 30-second delayed preview of what you're watching right now.
I'm watching it on my second screen. Yeah. I just fingered the camera.
Nice. But hey, man, thanks for having me tonight. I really appreciate it. And hopefully, you said you were going on vacation soon. Maybe we can do another episode.
I would actually love that. In all honesty, I think this is going to be a bi-weekly thing. This is a rare occurrence that I'm doing back-to-back episodes, but I just kind of want to get some content out there so that people can watch it while I'm not here. I'm going to be editing a lot of other things, so please, by all means, watch for that. I do have one beer. Oh, do I really want to spoil it? You know what? This is going to be in a review really soon. I'm not going to say what I'm going to be doing, but watch for this review to come up soon. I've got some guest speakers going to be doing some voiceovers for me, and I'm going to make this a special one because, God damn it, they made it a special beer for us.
That's awesome. We're looking forward to that.
Well, I think you'll enjoy it, honestly. And if you ever want to find that beer, you find it at Sundance. You can find it at Big Rock, Fifth Vine, I think it is. It's a collaboration #1, and I'm not going to get into what it's like or anything else like that because they didn't get into it what it was like. I will say this. This is all you need to know about this beer. And trust me, this is one of those ones where the reviewer's going, oh my God, are we going to get it right? Doesn't matter if you get it right or wrong. It's a beer. It's local. Fucking drink it.
Yeah, give it a try. Give it a try.
Exactly. So, and I suggest you...
Try before you buy.
I suggest you give it a try too, my friend. I mean, you're close to the Sundance Wine Market. It's only about 10 minutes away out of your direction. So,
yep.
But yeah, no, thanks again, and I will have you on again. And to all the people that watched, thank you. Like I said, to all the people that gave a thumbs down, I'm sorry it wasn't up to your specs. But guess what? I drink beer, I chat, and I talk to people about their interests. If you don't like it, not my problem. It's yours. Thanks again, John, for joining us. And let us know when you're going to be throwing up more podcasts. And if you ever want me aboard as well, I would love to join your podcast in the way of pimping you out or talking about, and do I really have to say this out loud, Windows 10?
No, we don't have to talk about Windows 10, but we will talk about video games. We will talk about, more movies probably. And, Minecraft with Windows 10. I want to whisper that. Windows 10, Minecraft.
Don't tell my daughter she'll want Windows 10.
It's free to see.
Well, I like
upgrade as of July 29th. It's free for you.
Dude, I have not upgraded. It has not asked me to upgrade, and I'm not going to upgrade because it hasn't asked me yet.
All right.
I'm sorry, but it's one of those things. So.
That's good. That's good. No. We'll talk more. We'll talk more about
this. It's true. So, but no, you know what? In all honesty, I would like to have you. I would like to have Johnny. I'd actually like to have Brew Games on all at once at one point in time, because we all have the same interests. We all have games. We all have technical. We all have beer, and we all like to get drunk. Mm-hmm. I think that concept, that's pretty much a foursome right there.
Exactly.
And okay. I've got one last question here. Would you rather have your daughter have Windows 10 or Mac OS 10?
Dude, can I answer this one for your daughter? I have the mentality of however old she is.
13.
Okay, I have the mentality of a 12-year-old.
No, you're close enough.
She wants Windows 10 with Minecraft. iOS can suck a dick because iOS sucks. I guess I shouldn't have said it that way, but you know what I'm saying.
Allow me to reiterate this.
What was that? Sorry, I didn't know
iOS sucks shit. As someone who goes and takes care of Windows and takes care of Apples and takes care of everything else, I think I would say Minecraft with Windows 10. I would support that because, well, I like what she builds in Minecraft. That and fucking hell, I just have to say this: the when they had the E3, when Microsoft came out and they did the Minecraft, and they did it virtually on a table. Sorry, you won me over right there.
Yeah, that was a selling point for sure. Yeah.
I right there, I will get that for my daughter because A, I love advanced technology like that, and B, Minecraft. She loves Minecraft. She's got me wrapped around her pinky. I can't help that.
Yeah.
Both my kids do.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next time, folks, thank you for joining us. We've had a lot of fun here. It's been a couple of hours, and we've been longer than cartoons out there for 90 minutes, but less than the comic movies that have been out there for 3 hours. We've been right in the middle. We've been drinking. We've been enjoying ourselves. I'm going to finish off this beer. I've already finished this one off. John over there has already finished off a ton of fucking beer. We've been enjoying it. And to all the people that have loved it, cheers. Thank you for joining us. For all the haters, cheers. Thank you for joining us. At least you watched a little bit of it.
Cheers.
Thanks again for joining, John. And yes, we'll have you on again real soon. Take care, folks. Till next time.